Well, I'm here in the Boundary Waters. This is the portage trail. It runs from the parking lot down to the entry point at Moose River. I'm actually on my way back to get my second load. This portage is only, I think, about 160 rods long, something like that. Fairly nice path, even. Not a lot to watch out for. Not too tough. I took 2 bags down on my first trip. Took my food pack and my camera kit bag. Oh, and my thwart bag too. And I left my equipment pack and my canoe. It's a gorgeous morning. Sunday night into Monday. They got a lot of rain here, but the forecast for the next few days is looking really good. I'm intending to make this a week-long trip. We'll see how that goes. Right now the forecast for the end of the trip is supposed to be for thunderstorms, but that's a week away, and a lot of things can change between now and then. So I'm going to take it one day at a time. I am planning a little loop. Again, entering at Moose River, making my way to Oyster Lake, up to Jebiana Cave from there, over to Lac LaCroix, back through Agnes and back out Moose River. So not a big long loop by any means. Here we are at the Moose River landing. The boat is packed up, almost ready to go. Just have to get me and Sam into it. And speaking of Sam, there he is, running off into the woods somewhere. Anyway, nice little rapids over there. Today is July 7th, 2015. Today's paddle, I'm going to be on river most of the time. I do have a couple of lakes to go across, but most of the time I'm going to be on river and creek. And I've got quite a few portages to do, but they're all pretty small. Most of them like 20-25 rods, somewhere in that range. So anyway, I'm just a little ways downstream from where I put in the next the next portage. It will be just around the corner here. It's not very far. If I remember rightly, this is a 20 rodder. So you should be able to see the portage landing right just ahead here. The first of many short portages. I think this one is 20. I have to take a closer look at the map to see for sure. A few rocks to negotiate around here. Not too bad of a landing though, as landings go. right. That first portage from the parking lot was 160 rods. And again, a rod is 16 feet. So, you can do the math from there. The next one, which looks like it's coming up real quick here. I didn't think it was supposed to be coming this fast, according to the map. Oh, maybe not. Okay, yeah, we go on around the corner here, I think. Maybe. Nope, this is the portage. Okay, this one is supposed to be 25 rods. According to the map, it was supposed to be quite a bit further down than this. That's why they print on these maps, not for navigational use. Well, that was obviously an extra portage. It came up too quickly, and it was way too short. It was a 25 rodder. If the river is running like this a week from now when I come back, it's going to be tough battling upstream. That looks like it might be the 25 rod portage right ahead of us here. Well, it doesn't look like it gets used very much anymore. Here's the restoration, it says. Huh. Okay. I guess we have to make it down through this rock garden here. Doesn't look too bad. Of course, it would look better if I was in an aluminum or Royal X Canoe instead of a wooden one. Like I said, that's a nice scratch down the length of the canoe. See that rock coming, but I couldn't steer out of the way fast enough. Well, this is probably the 25 rodder here. Well, that was the 25 rod portage. So as long as there's no more surprises for us, we should have quite a bit of paddling now with no portaging. Of course, there may be a beaver dam or two along in here. That's always a possibility. On our right is a big hill. A few years ago, when I was out here, I climbed up and you get really nice vistas all around. It's a nice bare top up there, so you can see for miles in all directions, especially on a day like this. I decided to pass on that today. Although it would be nice to get up there with the video and show you the panoramic, but I need to conserve my energy for the paddling and portaging today. Because when I did climb that hill a few years ago, by the time I got to Oyster, I was spent, and it was pretty late in the day by the time I got there too. Sun was already going down, and that was this time of year, so it was pretty late. And here we're finally coming to Nibi Lake. You can see it's opening up out here. Beaver lodge off on the left here. Dam straight ahead, but it's runnable. Traveling almost straight north right now. We go almost straight north, a little bit east of north, get across the lake. Well, if you can see the cliffs over on the left-hand side there, quite impressive. And there's the lake. Nice sandy beach. Marks where the river continues on out of Nibi Lake. And the beach can be seen from quite a ways out on the lake. In fact, almost all the way across. I could see the sliver of tan up here where the beach is. It's not that big of a beach, but it definitely shows up. Makes a good rest spot or lunch break place for those that are so inclined by the time they get here. We're just going to go paddling on past it, but definitely something to keep in mind for when you do this trip, if you do this trip. And here we're back on the river again after crossing the lake. Yeah, you can hear rapids up ahead, and we do have a 70-rod portage coming up. It's a short ways up here. And then we don't have too much of a paddle, and then we have a 96-rod portage. Well, we're done with the 70-rod portage. I stopped and took a couple of pictures along the rapids. The portage was going around, and we're on our way to the 96-rod portage now. It's not very far down here before we get to that. And then I need to flip the map over to know what is coming up next. Hi. Beaver Dam number 3. The rapids ahead, so we must be coming up to the 20-yard portage. Somewhere around in here. That looks like it right there. All right. We're well beyond that 20-rod portage now. Even though we're going upstream, the river is getting bigger, which means the current isn't as big of an issue. We've now gone through 5 good-sized beaver dams and 2 low-lying ones. Other than that first one, I've been able to paddle through all the rest of them, and I probably could have paddled through the first one if I'd really thought about it. So. Well, it's 3 o'clock, and I just arrived at a campsite on Oyster Lake. It's a campsite that I had once before with my friend Jim back in about 2004, 2005, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I didn't even have to check out the site. I knew it was going to be good just from the get-go. Here's the view from the campsite. Down here is the boat landing, and you can see there's a little slip there that I was able to put the canoe in while I unloaded it. Somewhat protected from the waves, and couldn't float away. And there's some nice cedars up here that's shading that area. Now there was a snapping turtle that we scared away. I think she's still down there actually. Snapping turtle just off shore there, looking like a log bobbing in the water. So she doesn't really want to leave, or he, whichever. But I hope it swims away before I go for a swim later on. I hope I go for a swim. Since it's only 3 o'clock, I probably can do that. Sam is flat out already. He's arrived home. He's had a long day of sitting in the canoe and doing portages. And speaking of portages, that last one, even though it was 60 rods only, just about did me in. I hit the wall on that thing. Here's the kitchen area. As you can see, somebody set up a nice chimney there. So I'll be able to protect my stove real well from the breeze. Not that the breeze is all that bad. And thankfully the breeze is coming straight off the lake, so that should keep the flies at bay. On that last stretch of river, the deer flies were really getting bad. Here's one tent pad over here. Looks like it might get a washout if it rains. And I believe there's a better tent pad back over in this direction that I'll probably take. It looks like it's a little bit higher and drier. It's not supposed to rain, but you never know. You always have to be at least partially prepared for the worst. So here's the other tent pad. It's looking fairly level and not so prone to water problems, although it does look like some water has streamed through here, but it's hard to avoid that. There is a third tent pad back in here, but it's awfully rooty, so I don't think that's going to work real well. And I'm assuming, well, there's another tent pad here that if you needed that many tent pads, it would somewhat do. But the latrine trail should be back in here. Lots of nice open area, and not sure if the latrine trail is this way or off to the right. Off to the right might go back to that portage I just did. Big log down over here. Let's see what we find coming back through here. Okay, there it is. Oh, it's one of the nice new modern square boxes with a lid. So that ought to be good. So yeah, that's the latrine. It's nice and sheltered from the lake. Just what you want. So you can do your business in private.